guys, welcome back to another video. This video is going to be the GTI again. Today we're going to be replacing spark plugs. This is my second time replacing it ever since the whole NGK spark plug failing dilemma. Never again using NGKs on my car, so we bought Bosch. Just some everyday spark plug, nothing special to it. Tools that you'll need. Obviously the spark plugs for 1/4 inch 10 mil for the grounds, 16 for the spark plug, a 1/4 ratchet, and the specialty thin wrench. It's like a very thin wrench so you can counter hold the bottom nut while you're loosening the top. Otherwise, you might have to use a like a needle nose pliers should do. Pick, long extension, and a magnet since we don't have a spark plug socket. So that'll be how we're gonna get the spark plugs off, and some gloves obviously. The car, I just drove the car, so the car is warm. So that should help us getting those annoying ignition coil rubber boots. If you try and do this on your Gen 3 E888, try to warm up the engine. That'll help you not ripping that boot and ending up buying a new coil because you destroyed your coil. Okay, so we're gonna start by taking our small ratchet with a 10 mil and the specialty thin 10 mil. Also, I will not be using power tools this install, just to show you guys that you don't really necessarily need it, so you can still do it by hand, but usually I would use a power tool to make things quicker. So, but if you don't have that, very doable. Do not have power tools. Also, try not to lose any hardware that you take off. So if you have a magnetic tray, got those grounds off for each coil. Then now we're going to use our pick to get the coils unplugged, which is very hard because it's hot. There we go. Unplug. Now it's time to take the mounting bolts to the cylinder head to bolt the ignition coil. Why didn't I get an extension? Okay, so we got the ground and the mounting bolt for each ignition coil. Now, in perfect world, you should be able to just grab it from the top and it should pop out. Sometimes they get stuck, at least the rubber portion of the ignition coil, and if that's the case, then you have to use the needle nose pliers because this top portion and the rubber boot will separate. So my trick, usually when the engine is not on fire, basically like this car is right now, I would pry up a little bit up here, just enough so I can grab the rubber boot that's down there and pull the ignition coil with the using the rubber boot that's down there, not pulling it through the top. But since this engine is, like I said, is very hot because I just drove it, I should be able to just grab it from the top and it should just pop out. Ow. Like that. But yeah, when your engine is stone cold, this guy and this guy will separate, and sometimes you can just connect it back on there. Other times you're not so lucky, you might have to buy a new one. So I successfully didn't destroy my ignition coils, because like I said, it's hot. So yeah, there's that. So now we have a long extension with a 16. It's just a regular 16 because like I said, I don't have a spark plug socket. So We'll loosen it like this, and then use our magnet, just sticking it down there, and then voila. Here you go. Oh, these are NGK, oh god. I have a vendetta against NGK, so getting those gross spark plugs out and into the trash, because that's where they belong. We are not pre-grabbing this at all, even though my tuner recommends to do, I believe it's 0.032. We're not gonna do that because right now I'm just on my regular stage 2 tune and not on ethanol. If you're on ethanol, I would usually recommend listening to your tuner, whoever that is, and see what they recommend, spark plugs and gaps. But since we are just regular stage 2, I wouldn't worry about it. Very easy task, but very important. So if you haven't done your spark plugs, or you don't know if your spark plugs have been done, just do it. And as far as torquing them, I don't know. You could look at torque spec, but I usually not even use a torque spec, I guess, but everything really does have a torque spec. I kind of just do it snug, then give it a little bit more. You definitely do not want it to be over torqued, because on these cars especially, the cylinder head is aluminum, so aluminum is very weak. And if you strip your cylinder head because you just put an impact on it, or you're just going to town on it like a Neanderthal, yeah, I don't really know what the fix is for that. Probably get away with using helicoil, but longevity, I don't know how long that's gonna last you, or if that's even gonna seal the cylinder properly. So just don't go ham on it. This time we're just gonna replace the spark plug. We're not gonna touch the ignition coils, because as far as I'm concerned, they're fine. So if it's not broken, don't fix it. Sometimes doing a little preventative doesn't hurt you. Make sure you put them all the way in. It's usually like a distinct, I wouldn't say click, but like you'll distinctly feel it like go in. Okay, back with the small ratchet and the 10 mil. Make sure these bolts, like I said, you don't strip it. So make sure they're threading in. Thread them in by hand first, because aluminum heads are not the best. They're good as far as weight savings and heat transfer and all that, but very weak. Very weak. Same thing with these guys. Once the ratchet stops, just give it a little bit. That's it. Now the grounds. If you lose the mounts, these, and you don't have anywhere to ground your coil, because these are the ground, these guys, if those are not grounded, your coil will not work. I've seen an Audi S3 with the Gen 3 engine. The mounting bolt for the coil is just completely missing. The car just has a random ass bolt. Just a random bolt. Like the coil for that cylinder wasn't even grounded whatsoever. Customer came in wondering why he has a misfire in one of his cylinders. We're using the specialty tool to hold the bottom mount and tighten top nut. Go snug. Then one thing left, make sure those coils are pressed all the way down. And then we plug everything back in. You'll hear a distinctive click. Bam, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 clicks. It should be very distinct. That's if your connector isn't broken. Mine isn't because it's brand new because I had to replace it. After that, verify that your car doesn't blow up. If there's a problem, spark plugs are foul or bad from the box, which I've gotten before. It will misfire.
Laser.
Like
GPS
butter.
connected.
There you go. That's how you replace a spark plug on a Gen 3 E8 AAA out of a Mk7 Gti. You could also get these engine from Audi S3s, A3s, Jettas. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.